Hi, and welcome to another one of my what ifs. Excuse me, I'm moving around. This is what if Godzilla was in My Hero Academia. Now, he's not really going to do anything until the first battle All Might has with All for One. So until then, he's not really this big thing. But in this universe, due to nuclear testing, uh, Godzilla was created just like how he was in the original one. But on top of that, because of some new materials and some new energy sources, Godzilla has actually been using that to get stronger. So he's kind of like Earth Godzilla. If you don't know what that is, go to Netflix and watch it, or YouTube. Or yeah, uh, Earth Godzilla is just this, I'd say, 1,000 foot tall, really, beast that's able to kill God Ghidorah, really, because in that universe, Ghidorah was like the god to a certain human race, to a certain race. He's way more powerful. Uh, a simple swing of his tail could destroy, I'd say, a state or half a state. But instead, we're actually just going to give Godzilla. We're just going to keep Godzilla the same way he is, but make him a little bit taller. So he's going to be, because he's around like 300 to 400, we're going to make him like near 6 to 700 feet tall. It's going to look the same as the new Godzilla, though, and still have all the same powers. But he's also able to do something that I might actually incorporate into another video for something. He's able to create these drones or other creatures that go out into his business. So they could be land creatures like tiger-looking things or wolf-looking things. They could look like They could look like monkeys or chimpanzees or even gorillas, and they could also look like pterodactyls. Sorry for that pause. I was just kind of, excuse me. I just kind of just stopped thinking for a bit. It's not that I'm tired. I'm just really used to, thinking of this stuff and not really saying it. And also, I didn't really feel that good. I had dinner like a hour ago, so my body's still kind of digesting it, and I kind of just really need to relax. So talking and stuff isn't really going to help. So this is most likely going to be a 2 to 3, maybe even a 5 part thing. I'd say that's the longest I've ever had, but that's mostly because of how I'm feeling right now. But back to the story. Now that's all the other powers that he'll have. He'll be able to create these other animals that have nearly half the amount of durability he has, but Godzilla has a lot more durability. So that if you were to look at how Godzilla was able to take hits but still get hurt from, King Ghidorah, do if King Ghidorah were to do the same things, it wouldn't phase him even if he were, nuked. So his skin's 10 times as tough as it was, or two, yeah, 10 times, 100 times even. He's just pretty dang powerful. So yeah, let's get to the story. So, uh, as All for One and All Might are fighting, All for One lets out this powerful blast at All Might, and All Might tries to counter it, creating this gigantic shockwave. So powerful that it creates an earthquake. So powerful, I know I said that twice, that it wakes up Godzilla because he only has felt this power once, and that was from Ghidorah. But he had killed Ghidorah, so there was no way of him actually coming back. so Godzilla is currently one of the only kaiju left. The other one is Mothra, and the other one is Rodan, the burning flying pterodactyl. That's legit the only powers he's got. And so Godzilla wakes up and he is gigantic, so big in fact that he's able to see over every single building and directly see All for One and All Might. Now, they both feel the rumbling and look up and see him, and All for One's like, "What is that? It's beautiful. Looks so destructive." Now, Godzilla, over the course of millions of years, has picked up the language of the humans. He's able to actually understand a lot of them. And because of his big size now, his brain power is a lot more. So it's on par with the with King Kong. So now Godzilla is really smart. It's not as smart as like a human, but just smart enough to understand humans. Not speaking for anything because he's still, when sorry about that. I'm moving my phone around. But now, mm, mm, but he's able to understand what all for one's wanting to do. He's like, with this monster on my side, I will be able to control the world and destroy anything I want to. And Godzilla doesn't like that. Even though he's supposed to keep the balance, that's not very balanceful at all. Because if you destroy one thing, like the heroes, then that's just toppling over the scale. Think of it like a scale, really. So think of it like this. Without one thing, you can't have another because that thing can only be something if one is around. So think of this way. Erasers are around because they need to erase what pencils do. If pencils were never invented and we stuck with pens, then erasers would never had to have been invented for the pencil. I know that we would still have to make them for a pen, but you get what I'm saying. If one thing's missing, then the other thing cannot be, because one thing is only that thing if it has something to counteract itself. It's like force. You punch something, well, there has to be something there for you to punch. If you just, create the punching action, then all you're doing is you're just throwing your fist. If there's nothing there, then you can't actually be punching something. Back to what I was saying, or back to the story. Now, Godzilla, looking at All Might and nodding, he looks back at All for One, and he just sends about 1,000 of each thing. So he sends actually no, 10. He sends 10,000 pterodactyl monsters. They're about the size of a bus. No, yeah, the size of, I'd say, you guys ever seen those banana buses, like those half buses? That's how long they are. Their wingspan, I'd say about, yeah, about a bus long in width. He sends the wolves, they're about the size of a motorcycle. The gorillas are about the size of a car. And yeah, that's all he sends. So he just, sends those out and they go and fight All for One with the help of All Might. And they easily take him down. Now, after that, uh, they all kind of just disappear. They actually, they all go back to Godzilla and they kind of are just reabsorbed into him. And so he nods, he looks back at All for One. All for One, no, All Might, and All Might looks back at him and he nods. And All Might says, "Hmm, that's a good guy." And he nods back. He's like, I know if I need any help, I could probably call on to him. And it's true, he could. Now you're saying, well, isn't My Hero Academia mostly about Izuku and his life to become a hero and stuff? True, as are most of my what ifs about Izuku. So here's where he comes in. Now, because Godzilla needs somebody to look over the world for him, because some things that can change the balance of the world don't always have to be gigantic battles. He creates this avatar of a person. It's kind of just this armor looking person. He it's kind of like he's got just a helmet and a set of armor on, but he still looks monstrous. So he's got claws, spikes, and stuff. And if you were to take off the helmet, he's got this kind of he's got sharp teeth and stuff. You don't really need to picture him because he's not really going to be around a lot. He's actually no, never mind. He's not even there actually. Uh, Now because of that, Godzilla is kind of seen as this protector of the world, but some people see him as this destructive force, something like that. Uh, They're like, I wonder what else he'll be able to do. I mean, if he's able to make 10,000 of those in a whim, what else could he do? So the governments kind of get worried. They're like, I mean, although we do have heroes, and although he was this heroic person that helped us, what if something happens that makes him hate us? And so, they start making a mech Godzilla, or just this gigantic mech that looks like Godzilla. And so they're like, okay, it's finished. Now let's give it a test run. We'll wake Godzilla and fight it. They're like, well, do you think we got the height estimations correct? I'm not sure, but we'll just have to see. Now, they're on a beach. Now, it's a very, very, very big beach. And they awake Godzilla somehow. I think they just get All Might, or they just use the Mechagodzilla to make a gigantic force of something. Like maybe the Mechagodzilla just stomps its foot on the ground and creates an earthquake. That wakes Godzilla. So Godzilla awakes and he looks at Mechagodzilla. Now Mechagodzilla isn't that big. He's about half the height of Godzilla. And so Godzilla walks up onto shore and they're like, we greatly underestimated his height. And so Godzilla, waiting for him to attack because it just looks like, they just made something to protect themselves and they were just testing it out. He's waiting for them to attack to see if they are actually hostile. And so they're like, sir, should we still commence the test? And they're like, no. Uh, let's not, because we don't really know what he'll do. Maybe he'll see it as a threat against him and he'll just start attacking everything. I'm not really sure. Let's just hold it out until we think that he's really a threat. And so the Mechagodzilla just starts to walk away. And Godzilla's like, okay, that was kind of weird, but as long as it doesn't interrupt my sleep, I'm okay with it. So he goes back to bed. And so it's about a few years later, like 10 years, I'd say, because I believe Izuku was 3 years old when that happened. So when they make Mecha Godzilla, it was like a 1 or 2 years. So by the time Godzilla had his second awakening with Mecha Godzilla, Izuku was around, I'd say, 5 years old. And so I was like, dang, he's huge. And people kind of saw him as this great protector. So instead of some people still look up to All Might, but they also look up to Godzilla. They're like, well, maybe they're friends because Godzilla did help All Might, and so Izuku looks up to Godzilla now. So yeah, that's interesting. Now Izuku still doesn't have any powers, but I'll show you where this is going. Now, actually, no, that will be another what if, will it? Nah, it's not. Um, Izuku continues on the same thing. Everything goes the same. And now it's a time for the second attack. Got for the second time, All Might has to face All for One, and so All Might like yells out, "Godzilla!" And the force of his yell shatters glass, and it reaches Godzilla. And Godzilla's like, "Huh, so he needs my help." And he walks out of the water, and because of how the government was thinking, they were like, well, he has to be able to, walk around. So they kind of made this gigantic road so to wherever. Or these changing things where they're able to move buildings around. They don't actually do that. It's just this gigantic road that he'll be able to go to the center of the city or even to the end of the city, from one end to the other. And so he gets to the middle where the big battle's going on. And so All for One, no, All Might runs off, and everybody, and all of the heroes run off and stuff. And Godzilla looks down at One for All. I mean, yeah, All for One, and All for One starts, throwing stuff at him using all of his quirks and everything. And he's like, "Quirk activation. Let's see what you could really do, buddy." So he starts using it against him, but nothing happens. He's like, "How is this possible? You used a power. What are you?" Godzilla telepathically, because I'm just giving Godzilla a bunch of powers because is this universe's Godzilla. Okay? So this Godzilla could be however I want it to be. It's my story. My story. Uh if you guys want me to do any others, so I'm gonna lay some basics out for you. I know I haven't really done the two other what ifs that uh somebody asked me to do, but that's because, you know, uh I'm not saying this because I'm being rude or I don't like them. It's just because, there were so many that what I was gonna say is, just a regular thing. Just for the Sonic one, he's a speedster that's able to probably shoot lightning. That's it. For the Sans one, I'm not really sure who Sans Black is. I would have just made it a Sans one. But at the same time, there's so many Sans what ifs, that I wouldn't really change anything. Oh, I could do a black clover one. Yeah. But anyway, let's get to it. Now, Godzilla, looking down at him, says, "You fucked up. You really fucked up, man." And All for One, being a coward and wanting to keep his life, starts running away in the other direction. Now, Godzilla starts warming up. He's like, "You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up." And his dorsal spines. But instead of him having dorsal spines, he'll still have them, but they'll just, they're not going to be the things that are actually his that actually create the power. It's going to be like the scales on him, like on the back part of him. So like the back part of his hands, back part of his head, and everything. That's where it kind of lights up around that area. And so it all kind of just concentrates. Actually, no. It's the same dorsal spines, and you already know what's gonna happen. He fires it, and all for one, that guy is dead, and it's burning a hole straight through the earth. Thankfully, Godzilla stopped so that he didn't just straight up destroy the world with it. So yeah, and that's going to be the end of this what if. Well, part one of it. Now we're going to continue for right now. Godzilla starts to walk back after looking at the hero, after looking at All Might, and the hero is saying, "You tried your best, but I don't want you getting hurt. You are this world's heroes. You are the heroes that stop the villains when I cannot." And they're like, "Why don't you stop them?" And he's like, "I'm only here to stop, to make sure that the balance of the world stays the same. Once quirks came around, I was hesitant to try and, destroy those people, but then I slowly saw more and more people getting quirks. And I was like, well, if more and more of them get quirks, and over time, all of them will. So that would have just become the new world. So yeah, but the reason why I didn't just straight up kill all of the villains is because without one thing, the other cannot be. Without villains, there can be no heroes. Without heroes, there can be no villains. Without government, no society. Without society, no government. You get what I'm saying? So I only act in drastic times. If you need my help for anything else, I will be here. Now, all for one, seeing as he was about to die, did transfer some of his powers through the earth, I may say, through like this vine to Shigaraki. And so that's why he was running away, because he had done that because he knew he was going to die, but he wanted to see if he would live by running away. And so, uh, yeah. Next, what if you already know what's going to be him versus Shigaraki and a gigantic Nomu with uh Mechagodzilla. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you which side Mechagodzilla will be on. I'm not going to tell you why. You guys can think about it, and tomorrow we will see. Because tomorrow I will have a 2 hour delay, so I can make it. Now I'm going to go watch some other what ifs to get some ideas. I'm not plagiarizing anything. All that, I didn't watch a single other what if. It was just all off the top of my head. Like most of my what ifs, I don't have a single script. I don't really have an idea. I just go with the flow. Next what if will either be part two of this. I will think of something and do it. I will think of something and not do it. I know it's been like a while since I haven't. I took like a hiatus, mostly because I got bored and stuff. Uh, if you guys have any ideas, please leave them in the comments. Um, one thing, please make them hero wise, like not just character wise. Like Sonic, he's a hero, but at the same time, he's more of just a character because there are many heroes of that. You could be like, oh, what if he was the Hulk? I could probably do that, but he'd just be like an oversized All Might. Or hey, what if he was Hawkeye? I would just make him Snipe's son. What if he was Thor? He'd be Thor. You guys just leave it in the comments. If I do a female Deku, I don't really know how I'm not really gonna be good at that. That's the only reason I haven't done them yet. I'm not gonna really be good at it because I'm not really good with romance. Really, I don't like romance things. Romance shows, I'd burn them if I could. I'd throw them away. Novels, ugh. Anything with romance, I do not like. So yeah, the only and don't tell me, oh, then why do you keep watching My Hero Academia? I watch it for the fights. That's it. I just want to see some kids get their ass beaten and use the power of plot armor to beat somebody. And so yeah, I will see y'all in the next part.